guys, it's Erin. I've been getting a couple of requests on how to make a scrapbooking kit, and while I don't have like a whole lot of advice because there's not like a formula I follow, I thought I'd show you what I do when I make, or when I run out of old ones or when I make new ones. The first thing that I do is I sort out all the paper that I either don't like anymore, have used some of, or just kind of want to use up so that I have room for new stuff. First, like, this is the mint side. First, basically, you just kind of have to figure out where the color of the paper falls into, like what category. You don't need to know a lot about, like, color theory and art and whatever. But you do need to be able to at least see shades. Like, you know, if you're colorblind, you're going to have a bad time. But, like, you can obviously see that this one is darker than that one, or that these two mints are not the same color. So I might not include them, or I could include them in a mint and, like, gray maybe. I'm saying too much. Scrapbook kit. And then, like, with these ones... These ones, you can obviously see that they're a lot more green than, say, this. And so you would want to separate them out unless you want to have a green and mint page. But just so that you're, like, aware of where the paper falls into a category. Now, what I try and do is I take the paper that I don't want to use anymore, and I make sure that it's all separated out into colors. Into color families. So, like, I'm not going to use that part, but, like, this is super bright yellow, and this is a more orange yellow. So I could include this in a kit that has a bunch of orange in it, and it would look good, and it would, you know, super pop because it's an orange yellow. And then I also like to include neutrals. Now, I use a lot of craft wood grain, and this one's like cork, and then this is a grayish wood grain. So when I make a kit, I either try and think of color combinations that are going to go well with the kind of backgrounds that I like to use. I don't use a lot of cream, so the papers that have cream in their background, let me see if I can find one. Like with this orange collection here, it's cream based instead of white. So I had to separate out these papers, and they're probably going to go together like this because they're not true orange, or they're not true white as well as the orange. Like this one is white and that one is more white. So these papers are probably going to go together because they have the same sort of pinkish orange together. And these ones are very bright orange. Not those ones. But these ones are pinkish, so they'll go together, and then these ones are very bright. So when I choose a kit for them, you know, it's already separated out into what colors that they would need to be like. Now, usually what I do is I just kind of think of colors that go together. Like, you can, if you look up color theory, if it's not part of your whole normal instincts, let me get some more paper for you. If you look up color theory, there's the whole thing about complementary colors and split complementary and double complementary and analogous colors and triad colors. And it's kind of something that helps you decide what colors look good together. Like tertiary colors are your colors that are right next to the primary colors. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and explain color theory because that'll get really boring really fast. But another tool that you can use is Pinterest and just plain old Google, because there are like literally hundreds of color combinations on the internet out there to say, hey, you know, these colors look good. And I mean, hell, even when you just put paper like this together, look, these colors look good. I don't know if you can see, yeah. So if you look at these three colors, these pinks here go really nicely with this light blue here. And it goes well with this mint green. Now it could go with that one, but I'm kind of leaning towards putting this in here. So it's really just about instinct and what you want to work with. So the thing about blue that's really hard is there's like 7,000 shades of blue that seem to be in scrapbook paper, and they're never all the same. So one of the ways around that is you can just decide, okay, I'm going to have several shades of blue in a kit. Now, all of these blues are sort of similar, but none of them are the same shade. Like, none of them. But they're more similar to each other than this blue and these blues over here, which have a lot of white and a lot less saturation of color, whereas these are very saturated. Except this one, which still does not want to live on either side. Look at this. It does not want to be with either one. So I think for a paper like this, which does not fit either of my categories, I would have it be the only blue piece in the kit. So, like, say maybe bring in gray or pink. I have a lot of pink. And have this one piece of blue being the accent color. And when I make my kits, I like to try and stick to about 3 colors, because I think 3 colors is enough. You know, 3 colors in a background, depending on if you want gray or if you want brown. I think 3 colors is enough to where it can pop, but you're not being distracted by too much color. And, you know, I know there's rainbows and whatever out there, and those are a little hard to work with, but hopefully you'll see how to do that in my other kit video where I worked with all the rainbows. But, like, if you look at this piece of paper, it's even helping me pair what goes with it, because it has multiple shades. I mean, like these ones, it's just pink, so I would have to guess. But if you look at this one, it says, okay, this peachy pink, this actual peach orange, and then this really bright pink. So I can combine these 2 bright pinks, like this one and this one are basically almost the same color. And then I can add in this one because it looks like that one. And so these papers could go in a kit, add in, say, maybe this blue, so that it's the only accent blue. Or, you know, add in the orange color. Add in the orange color here. And now all of these papers can be in the same kit, because they look similar enough while being different with patterns and everything. And then you want to pick a neutral. So I like I said, I like to pick wood grain, or I like to have a brown. So that's basically how I do it. You know, I have all of these papers and I take them out of their collection packs. I store my paper by collection. And when I get down to the last papers, or papers that don't really speak to me anymore, or that as a collection that it's starting to bore me a bit, that's when I start doing this. That's when I make all the big piles and say, all right, this is where this needs to go, this is where that needs to go. And I go and do a kit instead. And that way I end up mixing up manufacturers and it doesn't look exactly the same, and you know, it adds a bit more interest, which brings my interest back into scrapping with those papers. Okay guys, I'm back and I finished making all of the paper that I had on my desk and over there where you can't see and behind me on my table, and all of that I made into kits. And I'm not going to show you all of them because I made 1, 2, 6, 7. I made 8 kits out of all that paper. Oh my god. So, probably should have counted before I started filming. Anyway, I made 8, but I'm not going to show you everyone because as I do them, I'm probably just going to make a video, and that's going to be a lot easier. So, but what I did want to show you was 2 things in the sort of how do I make a kit kind of thing. For one, these are the things that I use to store my kits in. It's called a page planner envelope by Cropper Hopper, but the sad thing is they no longer make these. So if you're looking for them, the best place to try is eBay or resale places where people are getting rid of them, because these are kind of an air quote hot commodity right now because they're great. This is where I store the scraps. And it's even got like a pocket in front where you can put either teeny scraps or you can like label what's in the kit. which is great for people that, you know, cut off branding strips or need to remember for like DT stuff or, you know, anything that you would want to write notes in there. You can even put pictures in there if you're the kind of person that does pictures. So these are great if you can find them, but yeah, finding them is hard. Okay, let me catch my breath. I'm talking way too fast. Okay, for this kit, what I wanted to show you about it was I had these papers by Lawn Fawn, and what I wanted to do was I took inspiration as to what went in the kit from these papers, because these two are from the same line. And you can see that it's got the orange, the yellow, the darker blue, the lighter blue, and the pink, and then the darker pink. So as I was pulling from those big stacks of paper that you saw, I found things that had the darker blue in it, the lighter blue. See, these are completely different companies. This is American Crafts. This did actually go in the kit, but I figured I could just put it back. This yellow is from Echo Park. This yellow is from Lawn Fawn, but it's from a different paper collection. This is from American Crafts, and you can see it's got bark. You can see it's got that pink in it, and so I just matched that pink, and then I combined a lighter pink. That's almost the same pink. Now this isn't a true white, so that's kind of bugging me, but we'll figure it out when I start to work with it, and I'll see what happens. And then I did the gray, and this is Simple Stories. Actually, both of those are Simple Stories. Yeah, all of that is. These are from 3 different Simple Stories collections, but they're all Simple Stories. And yet it all combines to form this one piece of paper. So, see how you've got the one piece of paper represented in all of these different things? So it forms a cohesive kit when you put it all together. And so when you start to scrapbook with it, it's going to all match together. So that's that one. Put that aside. Put it away later. And then this one, I've now officially forgotten why I wanted to show you this one, so we're just going to look at it. Okay, so here's the pinks. The problem with my scrapbooking is I end up with a lot of pinks from buying, from when I bought collection packs. I don't do that anymore. I tend to buy by sheet. But pink just comes in scrapbook paper so much that, you know, there's not much you can do half the time. Oh, okay. What I wanted to show you about this one was that, okay, there we are, that your neutrals don't have to match with each other. Now, I showed in one of my other kit videos that I had a sort of a khaki color and a black color. I made sure not to mix those when I was scrapbooking. So all of these 3 colors can mix, but it's not necessarily a good idea to say use this one and that one together. I'm sure you can make it work. I mean, a better scrapbooker than me could probably make anything work. But for my personal style, I don't want to mix these kind of papers because they're too neutral. Like, you know, I wouldn't cut these two and put them together because this is obviously a gray and then this is a brownish. So I don't feel that brown and black go together. I like it when they're separate, and, you know, gray is a tone of black. So, like, these 2 papers would go together. And this one is a darker brown, so it could, but I don't really like them together either. So the idea is that they're going to be backgrounds, or if this is a background, then one of these is going to be the accent color, and it's going to mix with these 3 colors, but not with each other when I create things. So you can still put stuff in the kit that isn't going to necessarily work with everything in the kit, but work with some of the things in the kit. It just depends on if you have a sort of a plan or direction where you're coming from. But if you notice the kit that I showed you before, and then this color, they have like sort of 3 main colors, and then they have some accent colors or some neutrals. So that way, you know, it gives your eye a rest from too much busy. I do it when I color when I color stamps with Copics. I tend to pick only 3 colors for the person's, you know, basically for anything, for the card, for the person's outfit, because it's easier for your eye, and especially if they're complementary colors, it just makes the product look better. So that's my sort of rule for kitting. And then yeah, these go in here, and then so that's it. These are all the kits that I got. Matching up that green was a little bit difficult, but I added some mint in there, so that was fun. So I will be working on these kits and working on the other 11 kits that I have from the Use Your Stash Kit Club. And I will be making videos of them and showing you what I make and all of that stuff. So I hope you subscribe and like this video, and just keep following me if you like this idea. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. One thing I definitely wanted to add was, when I make these kits, I don't add any embellishments or any stickers or anything like that in them. I don't buy collection packs that much, and when I did, they didn't come with stickers. So I don't have those things that go with the collections. I don't have die cuts. I think the only kind of die cuts I have is for this summer line. I don't even know which one it is. Yeah, it's this one, the American Craft Summer. I have that, but it's so summer that unless I'm actually making a summer layout, I'm not going to use it, and most of this kit probably isn't going to be used for summer. I mean, I like the bright colors for it, but I'm not going to sit here and say this is the summer kit. So I'm not going to go and put in all of my embellishments or something, because what I can do is I can go in and be like, alright, well, my embellishments are these wood veneers, and make a complete boy page that has nothing to do with summer. Or I can make a dog page and use the dog wood veneers. Or I could bring in some sequins. And see the sequins, I don't know how well you can see this. The sequins will go with this color, and so why I can't put sequins in the paper pack, and I don't store stuff like that together, obviously, because it's separate right now. So I'm not gonna put stuff like that into the kits. Now I know on Use Your Stash, she tends to pull out the kits, and she pulls out the mists and tape and ribbon and all the stuff that she likes to use. But I find that I'm more inspired to use that stuff while I'm making, as opposed to when I see it all together, because when I see it all together and like piled on top, it kind of stifles my creativity, I guess. And, you know, again, it makes it just difficult for me to store. So that's why you don't see any embellishments, and they'll just kind of be added as I'm making the pages, as opposed to just putting it all together. So it's not technically a true kit club kind of a process, but it's what works for me. Okay, thank you.